4th and goal to go to the 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
Here is Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
Finally, okay, let's go. I mean, now they're not going to, if anything were to happen, right, Pod, they're not going to, I wouldn't want to do it either, because they got Jameis Winston for 2 seasons, right? Now, have him as your backup quarterback, sign me up for that. Yeah, I ain't got no problems with that at all. I mean, you're not going to usually have, with your backup quarterbacks, you're not going to usually have somebody like Tom Brady in his prime as your backup quarterback. You're not going to have Peyton Manning in his prime as your back. There's going to be an issue for the problem, with the backup quarterback. There's going to be something, right? Well, what the Giants have, right? I mean, they have quite possibly a future Hall of Famer, Russell Wilson, and Jameis Winston as the backup quarterbacks. That's not a bad situation. But you can start looking, right? I mean, you can look. I mean, oh my God, the Bengals. Oh my God. I mean, they might as well just not even play the rest of the season. I mean, it's possibly Joe Burrow might be back. Maybe December, but I mean, the season will be over by then. I mean, it's just a shame. It goes to show you. If you lose your star quarterback, it's just, wow. Now, where we at here? Is this them? Okay. So, now, the thing, I mean, because, just there were rumblings, shall we say, right? Right? You lose your quarterback this early, you still got a chance, okay? If you lose your quarterback, after the trade deadline, or you lose your quarterback halfway through the season or something like that, and you're whatever, say 10 weeks in and you're 4-6 or something like that, and you lose your quarterback, I mean, you might almost kiss the season goodbye. But early in the season, still got a lot of games left to go. Now, if you look at the standings, let me pop these standings up here. Let me share my screen here. Once again, you got to forgive me here. 74. Oh, there we go. I got a ton of tabs open. Okay, here we go. I mean, if you look at the AFC here, I mean, there's not a bunch of teams. I mean, as of right now, that let's look at the AFC West here. Okay, Chargers are 3-1. I mean, the Broncos are 2-2, but they're not really lighting the world on fire. And Lord knows the Chiefs ain't lighting the world on fire either. Okay, and we got the Raiders. They're in rebuild mode. Okay. I mean, you got the Colts, who were 3-0. They lost there. I mean, they're an okay team. I mean, are they, are they the Packers from the 60s? I mean, are they, no, they're not. They're going to start coming back down to earth. They might win the division. Okay, but are they that phenomenal of a team? No, they're not. Okay. Then you got the Jaguars. Okay, 3-1. But once again, I good for them. Okay. But then you look at this division here, right? The Steelers, they lose Aaron Rodgers. I mean, right? Are they going to be able to rebound from that? Right? So, they're right. They're only a game out, right? And then you got up here, right? The Patriots are 2-2. The Dolphins stink. The Jets blow. And you got the Bills. I mean, there's not like 8 or 9 teams that are phenomenal in the AFC. I mean, you got what? 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 5 teams that have a winning record in the AFC. You got 16 teams. Only 5 of them have winning records as of right now. So it's really, really early. So I mean, they could really benefit. Somebody, maybe getting a quarterback in there, right? And especially if you got the wide receivers. Holy cow, right? But if you look at, Cincinnati. They. Probably, can I get up here? Is that it? No, let me see here. I click on the Bengals. All right. Okay. They won a couple tough games, right? They beat the Browns at the first game of the season, 17-16. Then they beat the Jaguars, right? The Jaguars are 3-1. With Burrow in there, they beat the Jaguars. So, right? Then, of course, they only lost 48-10 after Burrow was out, right? They've scored 13 points the past two games. 13 points. Their season's over with. It's over. Forget about it. They got to play the Lions. Then they got to play the Packers. Then they got to play the Steelers. Then they got to play the Steelers again. Then they got to play the Ravens. They got to play the Bills. They got to play the Ravens. Holy cow, Batman. Their season's over with. If they don't do something, their season's over with. Forget about it. Forget about it. Put a fork in them. Forget about the Bengals. Right? I mean, this is like, all right, where the heck are we at here? Does this say? Okay, here we go. Position. I mean, the quarterbacks, Jake Browning, who's in there now, who's their quarterback, scored 13 points in the past two games. Jake Browning. Who else they got here? I mean, it's where's the other guy? Brett Ripien. I wonder if he's related to Mark Ripien, the quarterback. He used to be the quarterback for the Washington Redskins the last time they won the Super Bowl after the 91 season. They have another quarterback in here? Yeah. Oh. Joe Burrow's on injured reserve, practice squad. I mean, I never heard of this guy. Sean Clifford. I don't know. He's from Penn State. They have another guy? Is there another guy or no? Oh, yeah, Mike White from Western Kentucky. So those are the four quarterbacks. Ain't none of them going to take them anywhere. Absolutely nowhere, right? So the thing is like, with the Bengals, right, as far as needing a quarterback, it's like, wait, we'll give Browning another few weeks and maybe we'll get his rhythm down and we'll start going on a roll. No, it's not happening. Your season's over with. Just go home. That way, nobody's feeling gets hurt. Just forfeit it's just straight trash. Straight trash. They need somebody. If they you got these two wide receivers out there, right? And who likes to throw that? Right. Who's good at throwing a deep ball, right? Wow. So there's been some chitter, right? There's straight chatter about a New York Giants quarterback trade reported. The 49ers won. Overtime, 26-23. Congratulations. Now that he's no longer quarterback number one for the Giants, fans have been wondering if the Giants could get something in a trade for Russell Wilson. A report published on Tuesday indicates there might be a chance. Pro Football Talks, Mike Florio reported that there's been some straight chatter, whatever that means, about the Giants trading Russell Wilson to the Bengals, who are struggling without injured quarterback Joe Burrow. Burrow is expected to be out until at least mid-December following toe surgery. I mean, by the time he comes back, they're going to have double-digit losses. I mean, their season's over with. The Giants currently have a pair of veteran quarterbacks who aren't playing, Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. Both played for AFC North teams in 2024. With rookie Jaxson Dart leading the Giants to an upset victory over the Chargers, one of them is expendable. And as I said, I wouldn't trade away Jameis Winston because you got him for 2 seasons. He's going to be a backup quarterback for 2 years. Right? Wilson has $1.55 million in remaining base salary after 4 weeks. Winston has $1.51 million. Wilson's incentive package includes $176,000 for each win in which he takes at least 50% of the snaps. Last week, there was straight chatter of Wilson to the Bengals for a 5th-round pick. And while a deal for Wilson or Winston is possible, the current dynamic could be made that neither side wants to make the first move. In a high-tech world, it's the lowest of low-tech negotiation tactics. Don't make the first move. The general thinking is that whoever picks up the phone first surrenders leverage, which is true. Whatever the Giants would have wanted a week ago for either player, they'll be inclined to want more from the Bengals if Cincinnati were to call today, which is true. given last night's outcome, whatever I don't know, whatever the Bengals would have offered a week ago, they'll be inclined to nudge it lower, given that Dart's performance highlights the fact that the Giants don't need both veterans. The trade deadline arrives 5 weeks from today. If the Bengals wait until the clock approaches midnight, the cause could be lost, especially since they face the Lions, the Packers, and the Steelers in the next 3 games. I mean, they could easily be 2-5. After 7 games, they got 5 losses with 10 games left to go. And, they go 500 the remaining games with Burrow out. They'll have 10 losses. They'll be 7. The season's over. So, if they don't, they want to give themselves a freaking chance. I mean, they're not going anywhere with the quarterbacks they got, right? Both Wilson and Winston have the arm strength to deliver the ball down the field to Chase and Higgins. I mean, they got those 2 wide receivers. You paid big money for these guys. You're going to let this season just go away without even trying? Given Chase's obvious frustrations from Monday night, he quite possibly would welcome a potential upgrade given Burrow's indefinite absence. The Bengals have lost both of their games with Jake Browning starting in place of Burrows. In 2+ games, Browning has 3 touchdown passes, 5 interceptions, and a 67.9 passer rating. The Bengals have generated just 13 points in losses to the Vikings and the Broncos. 13 points. That's Giants. That's Giant-esque. Getting 13 points of offense in 2 games. That's bad. It was 6.5 points a game. Holy cow. The Giants are going to trade one of their 2 veteran quarterbacks. Wilson is the one who would seem to make the most sense. Winston is a fine backup quarterback, and he has a low-cost 2-year, $8 million contract that ties him to the Giants through next season. Wilson has a 1-year deal. Now, a backup for the first time in his 14-year career, it seems unlikely the 14-year veteran would accept returning to the Giants next season. Absolutely not. Of course, Florio did not report that there are active discussions between the 2 teams. He was referring to straight chatter. That could mean almost anything. It could be a league executive saying, if it was me running the Bengals, I'd ask the Giants for Wilson. It could be a league insider saying, if I was the Giants, I'd want a 5th rounder for Wilson. It could be Florio reading fan-driven internet chatter. Who knows? This is from Ed Valentine. He says, my view, though, is that General Manager Joe Schoen and the Giants can get a 5th-round pick for Wilson, and whether they realistically can, I don't know. That is something they have to do, isn't it? So, but some of these teams, when as the quarterback carousel turns, right? Some of these teams start losing their quarterbacks. If you don't have somebody, the Giants have some capable quarterbacks now. Yeah. Now, of course, we lost Neighbors. So, but some of these teams, it's like you look at their quarterbacks, their backup quarterbacks, and it's like part of one of the problems, of course, is you look at obviously maybe who's on the team, right? Now, because when you got to start paying, like a Joe Burrow, right? Big bucks. And you got to pay Higgins big bucks. And you got to pay Chase big bucks. All these big bucks add up. No pun intended, right? There's only so much of the pie left for the rest of the team, right? So it does make it difficult. But, it'd be a shame, for those guys, for the Bengals to have those 2 stud wide receivers. And it's a shame. It is. It's just the modern NFL, right? Your quarterback goes down in week 2 and he's going to be out for 3 months or so, whatever. Your season's almost over. It's a shame, but so going to be something to keep an eye on. Especially as time goes by. Because there are going to be some teams that are going to need some quarterbacks, and you got a future Hall of Fame quarterback, quite possibly a future Hall of Fame quarterback as our backup number 2. And even when we trade him away, now you got Jameis Winston steps up. Now he's quarterback number 2. I'm fine with that. Right? Russell Wilson has his limitations, but I think Jameis Winston has some limitations as well, too. Right? But so that's something to look out for, right? Especially if we get maybe a 5th-round pick for maybe a Russell Wilson. Right? I said, we got Micah McFadden in the 5th round too, right? So, not saying that Shane will take a 5th round pick and then hit it out of the park with it, but we've seen in the past he can do pretty well with the 5th round pick.